Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the next episode of the X-Factor Sportz Podcast. It is season 7, episode 12. We are in the season finale of the X-Factor Sportz Podcast. I can't believe I got 7 seasons in the books. We are at episode 84 of the X-Factor Sportz Podcast. Appreciate y'all for tuning in tonight. We got a great show. Obviously, it's a finale, so we got to end it with a bang before we take a break. But we got a great show. We got NBA playoffs we got to dive into, NHL playoffs. I'm going to give y'all that in the quick news, who I think will actually get to the Stanley Cup Final. And then I got my own mock draft. I know you've been seeing mock drafts all over the place. I'm just going to give y'all 1 through 10 picks based on the teams that are drafting in those spots now. Obviously, if trades happen, draft day trades, so be it. But based on what these teams need and where they're positioned now, I'm going to give y'all my top 10 picks of the NFL draft. All right. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Again, we got 5,000 subscribers. We are on YouTube and Rumble every Wednesday night. And you can also check us out any of the audio platforms. You can go there, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Pandora, anywhere you can listen to podcasts. The X-Factor Sportz Podcast is there. All 84 episodes will be on there. So check us out. All right. Let's get into it with the quick news, the real talk, unbiased takes. All right. So let's get this started. In the NBA, the awards are starting to come out. As y'all probably already saw, Peyton Pritchard, he won Sixth Man of the Year. Congrats to him. And that's the second Boston Celtics in the last 3 years, I think, won the award. I think Malcolm Brogdon won it a couple years ago, Sixth Man of the Year. Again, well-oiled machine, the Boston Celtics. Peyton Pritchard, well-deserved. I'm sure he got majority of the votes. I didn't look to see how many he got to win it. But 14 points off the bench. Don't let him touch the ball with 5 seconds left at the end of any quarter because he's going to hit from anywhere. So congrats to Peyton Pritchard on winning that award. Real good player. And so throughout the rest of the week, y'all going to see the other awards, right? Who wins? They already announced the finalists. So I'm going to give you all the finalists and who I think should win the award and will win the award. With the MVP, you got Shea, Jokic, and Giannis are the finalists. I think SGA wins it. I think everybody believes he wins it. Kind of a foregone conclusion. And it ain't just because it's a great story, right? He earned it with his play. He leads the OKC Thunder in every category, damn near, including blocks, and he the point guard. So you got to show love to that. They are number 1 seed in the West for the second year in a row, and they won the West by like 16 games, dominated from wire to wire, right? They have the best record in the league. Their record is even better than Cleveland's on the other side. So you got to give it to SGA. So it's very similar for basketball historians. 1962, right? I won't dive too far into the history books, but in 62, this kind of same thing happened. Wilt Chamberlain had averaged 50 points and 25 rebounds that season. Oscar Robertson averaged a triple-double, but Bill Russell won the MVP. Why? Because the Celtics was like 11 games ahead of everybody else, right? And he wasn't too shabby himself with his stats. He averaged like 19 a game, 25 rebounds. And the Celtics smacked everybody. Only team in the league during that time that had 60 wins. And they still played 82 back in the day. So this is very similar, reminiscent of that. A player who dominated all season long, and he's getting rewarded for winning. So I got SGA winning the MVP. Rookie of the Year finalists, Stephon Castle, Zach Rissier from Atlanta, French dude, and then Jalen Wells, who came storming through after All-Star break with the Memphis Grizzlies, but he hurt his wrist. He's not playing in the playoffs right now. They could use him. But Jalen Wells is the other finalist. Stephon Castle is going to win this thing running away. It'll be the second San Antonio Spur in back-to-back years to win Rookie of the Year, joining Wemby, who won it last year. I think Stephon Castle, which I'm not sure if I don't remember, but I know I had Stephon Castle as a Rookie of the Year candidate preseason. I might have picked him to win it. Y'all can go back and check that episode. I know for sure I had him in there, and I probably picked him to win. And I think he will win it. So here over the next few days. Defensive Player of the Year. All right. So this Defensive Player of the Year award is crazy because they finna let Draymond Green talk his way into winning this award. He shouldn't even be a finalist. He doesn't have the stats to back it up. But with Draymond is Dyson Daniels from Atlanta and Evan Mobley from Cleveland. I got Evan Mobley winning this, right? Evan Mobley is top 10 in all of the defensive stats you want, right? Defensive efficiency, rebounds, block shots, he's number 2 overall. And Cleveland is a top 10 defensive rated team. So everything you asking for, Evan Mobley is the reason the team is playing such good defense, and he's got the stats to back it up. Draymond ain't top 25 in none of these stats. So how the hell did he even get his name put in the mix to be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate? At least Dyson Daniels is in there for steals. I think he leads the league in steals. He's top 10 in defensive efficiency rating. Draymond's nowhere to be found. So how did he push himself into this narrative, right? So give me Evan Mobley. I know everybody going to say, big men always win. The big men always win if the numbers say they win, right? So Rudy Gobert won 4 of them. I don't know if he should have won the ones in Utah, but he actually earned the one in Minnesota. They were the best defensive team all year long, and he's the best defensive player there. Yes, you can pick on him on pick and roll. You can't do that to Evan Mobley. If y'all been watching this season and y'all been watching the playoffs, Evan Mobley can guard guards. He can guard bigs. He rebounds. He blocks shots. He's everywhere. So I think Evan Mobley deserves Defensive Player of the Year. Hopefully he get it and he don't get snubbed by this Draymond narrative, this dude going on TV, campaigning for himself to win Defensive Player of the Year like he running for president. It's crazy. All right. Most improved finalist is Cade Cunningham, Dyson Daniels again. Shout out to him, man. He having a great year. And Zubac from the Clippers. And Vika Zubac, I talked about last week, has a chance to win most improved, and he's been in the league for like 11 years. So that's just a testament to him. You can get better in the NBA no matter how long you've been in the league, so props to him. He's a big reason why they're winning, but I got to give it to Cade Cunningham. Now, I know for a fact, you go back and check preseason on one of the episodes, I picked Cade Cunningham to win most improved player, and I stand by that. I think he wins it. He deserves it. Every statistical category there is, Cade Cunningham has improved his numbers from last year to this year. They were a 14-win team last year. They got 44 wins. He's a first-time All-Star. If that ain't most improved, I don't know what is, right? So Cade Cunningham should unanimously win, in my book, most improved player. It's the same way they gave it to it's the guard from Philly. They gave it to him. So Tyrese Maxey. If Tyrese Maxey got it for his improvement, being a first-time All-Star last year, this is the same blueprint. Cade Cunningham did it, but his numbers improved across the board, and they won 30 more games. Got to give it to Cade. So that's where I'm going. Then they got the Clutch Award finalists. This award they just started doing a few years ago. They got to hand out more participation trophies. I'm cool with it. So, but for Clutch Award, they got Brunson, Jokic, and Ant-Man as the finalists. I think you got to give it to Jokic. You have a season like this. I mean, average a triple-double, first center in NBA history to do it, one of the best players in the world, arguably the best player in the world. I think you got to give it to him, not just because he had a great season, but he was clutch. He's a finalist for a reason. Led the Denver Nuggets to 50 wins, right, in the West. So I think he was, out of these 3 candidates, the way they do Clutch Award, they do like clutch points, field goal percentage, things like that, right? Stats in the last 5 minutes of close games. And he's top 3 in all of them, obviously. So I'm going to give it to Jokic on top of the triple-double, everything he does for that team to win close games. You've seen the buzzer beaters this dude hit. He be throwing up one-arm hook shots from 40, 50 feet out, and they still go in. Get that thing to Jokic. He got to win something this year. And then the last award, Coach of the Year finalist. All right, I kind of touched on this and gave y'all kind of the answer in my most improved, but Kenny Atkinson from Cleveland, JB Bickerstaff, Detroit, Ime Udoka from Houston, all deserving. The Cavs are the number 1 seed. They dominated wire to wire in the West. The Rockets were on the doorstep last year, making the playoffs to getting a 2 seed, winning over 50 games in the West. That's a huge accomplishment. But to me, it's a no-brainer. It's got to go to JB Bickerstaff for the Detroit Pistons. Again, they were the worst team in the NBA last year, 14 losses. or 14 wins, sorry. 14 wins last year. And now they got 44, a 30-win turnaround, one of the biggest turnarounds in NBA history. How do you not win Coach of the Year? It's his first year there, right? Turn Cade into an all-star, turn Cade into a most improved player. Like, all these guys are playing well together. They got some toughness to them. They might mess around and win this playoff series. I know this is a regular season award, but what JB Bickerstaff has brought back to Detroit, the culture, the fans love it. They play tough. They play like a Detroit team from the back in the day. So give me JB Bickerstaff as Coach of the Year. I think it's a no-brainer, right? Just the win-loss record alone. You go from the worst team in the NBA with 14 wins to 44 wins in 1 year, and not much else changed but the coach. Go ahead and give me that to JB Bickerstaff. So that's what I got for the NBA quick news and the awards. Like I said, throughout the rest of the weekend, you're going to see who wins these awards, and hopefully we're right. Y'all can come back and tell me if I was or if I wasn't, or let me know who you think should win these awards. All right. NHL. So the quick news on them is the playoffs started over the weekend. They're very aligned with the NBA. 82 games, 7-game series, conference finals. They pretty much start and end at the same time. So for me, what I got for the NHL playoffs, I'm going to just let y'all know who I think is going to the Stanley Cup Final. All right. So in the East, whoever wins between Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers, the battle of the Florida hockey teams, whoever gets out of that series alive is going to the Stanley Cup Final in the East. I don't see any other teams that can beat them. It's crazy that they drew each other in the first round. That's a hell of a series. But I got the winner of that series getting to the Stanley Cup in the East. And then in the West, if Colorado can get to a conference final, I think they play against Vegas, the Golden Knights, and then I got the Vegas Golden Knights beating them. All right, so I got Vegas in the West getting to the Stanley Cup Final, and then the winner of this Tampa Bay Florida Panther series plays against them in the Stanley Cup. When we get back, it should be deeper into the playoffs, and then we can make more insightful predictions on who we think is going to win. But just right now, first round of the playoffs, I think only game ones have been played. I'm going to go with the winner of the Florida teams and the Vegas Knights getting to the Stanley Cup Final. All right. Last thing for quick news, college football, right? I know the NFL draft is tomorrow, and obviously college football is tied to that. But I just got a quick thing about Colorado football. So, or actually, let me back up. I do have Colorado football, but Nico Iamaleava transferred to UCLA. So congrats to him. We touched on him a couple weeks ago about the narrative of what he wanted to do in college football, if Tennessee was trying to tarnish his legacy or tarnish his name, or was his family and friends trying to just get him a bag. Either way, congrats to the kid. He actually is, UCLA's taking a chance on him. He's back home. He's from California, play for UCLA. Congrats to them. They got a potential NFL prospect at quarterback. Hopefully they can do something with that. All right. So with Colorado, they retired Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter's jerseys or numbers, right? Ring of Honor. So a lot of alumni and a lot of people, Colorado fans even, kind of disagree with them doing this. I like it. So I'm good either way. Travis Hunter for sure needs his jersey retired or his number retired. Think about this. When he got out of high school, he's the number one prospect in the country, chose to go to an HBCU, put Jackson State on the map, had them on College game day. He is a generational talent, two-way player. We're going to talk about him when we get to the NFL draft, mock draft. And he won a Heisman Trophy. He's the first Heisman Trophy winner in Colorado football in 30 years. Rest in peace, Rashaan Salam. So 100%, you're a Heisman Trophy winner for a university. What that does for the prestige of your university is everything, especially in athletics. So I have no problem with Travis Hunter being retired or his number being in the Ring of Honor. Now, Shedeur, that can be debatable, right? But I'm also not upset about that either, right? He came from Jackson State with his father, but he helped turn that program around. The Colorado football program was dead, okay? Before they got there, they were 1-11. Nobody cared about Colorado football, not even the school, not even the students. They turned that thing around. He was the quarterback that led the charge. They won 9 games last year. And in 2 seasons, they went from being 1-11 to getting a bowl game. So when it comes to Hall of Fames and Ring of Honors, it's also impact. So what you do on the field, obviously, statistics got to measure up to it, which he led college football in completion percentage, by the way, which was a record. It was like over 70-some% totality of his passing. So he's got records. He's got like 60, 70 records for Colorado football in just playing in 2 years. So it ain't like they just threw his name up there because he Deion Sanders' son. He's got stats and he's got records to back it up at the school. So you go in their record books, you'll see Shedeur at the top of a lot of these records for quarterbacks. So I'm good either way. Now, in the AD added on top of that, these are his words. Our program was dead and they revived it when they came here. So that has to say something. And when you tell the story about Colorado football, can you tell it without Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter? That's why I think I'm okay with them being retired. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. All right. Cool. So we got the quick news out the way. Now let's go ahead and dive right in. We're going to get into the NBA playoffs. We have game 2s going on as we speak. I think Boston, Orlando are playing. And then I think also the Heat and the Cavs are playing as well. And then we got the later West Coast game tonight with the Warriors and the Rockets. So we're going to go ahead and dive into what's happened so far and our predictions moving forward, because when we get back, we will be out of the first round of the playoffs for sure when we come back to season 8. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right. In the Eastern Conference, so Cavs Heat, like I said, they're on right now playing, and the Heat maybe get 1 game. Let's just call it what it is. The Heat aren't good enough. They haven't been all year, and especially against this Cleveland Cavaliers team, best offensive team in basketball. Already told y'all what Evan Mobley and all them got going on, but it's the guard play, right? If you saw game 1, Ty Jerome had 27 off the bench. And then you had Donovan Mitchell, who's going to probably average 30 in this series. And Darius Garland brought in another 25, 26 points. So the guard play, they have no answer for those guards, right? And then you got the anchors on the defense with the bigs. So the Heat can probably get 1 game. They might get game 3 down in Miami, maybe. But I wouldn't be surprised if this series is over in 5. I think Cleveland's the better team. Obviously, they're the 1 seed. They get them out of there quick. And I think it's the guards that do it. So they have no answer for them. The offense that they run and then the rebounding, they crush the Heat on the boards. So that's all you need to get out of that first round. And the other game that's going on right now, Celtics Magic, again, Jason Tatum got hurt in the first game, hurt his wrist. I'm not sure if he's playing right now. They said he was doubtful, which for me, a guy that likes to bet on sports, when I hear doubtful, I stay away from you. So they probably set him down, which they should. If they should be fine. They should be able to beat the Orlando Magic in Boston in a game 2, right? So I don't see that series going past 5 or 6 either. Boston's known to drop a few games, typically at home, though, which is crazy. Last year when they won a championship, they was dropping games at home, and they go on the road and smash teams. So maybe it's a different thing this year. Maybe Kristaps Porzingis gives them a good game tonight. But if I'm Boston, what I'm doing is Paolo Banchero go crazy. Like, get your 30. But we're not going to let Mo Wagner. We're not going to let Franz Wagner get off on us. We're not going to let Cole Anthony get off. Like, I'm not letting the rest of the guys go crazy. I'm not letting KCP find his range. Just let Paolo do his thing, and I lock into everybody else. And they don't have enough depth to match what the Boston Celtics bring to the table. So I think that series will be over early too. All right. Knicks and Pistons. Now they have played 2 games. That series is tied up 1-1. And just like we talked about last week, the Knicks will lose this series if Karl Anthony Towns is not the best player in this series. If he does not dominate, right? What did he do the other day? 10 points, 6 rebounds, nothing in the second half. If he ain't the best player, if he's not the best player in this series, the Knicks lose the series. Plain and simple. I know a lot of y'all going to be talking about, well, what about Brunson and this and that? Brunson's going to get his points. Brunson had 37 and it didn't matter. Case in point. But when Karl Anthony Towns exerts his dominance on the series, they have no answer for it, right? There's something to be said about the NBA playoffs when your big men are physical and dominant. It's hard to find answers for it. You got to double team them. You got to figure out rotations. There's so many different things. If he's dominating on the glass and scoring, it's hard to beat. If Brunson going crazy, cool. We're going to let Brunson go crazy. He can't affect us if we just letting him shoot, and he's not getting everybody else involved. Nobody else is in rhythm. So I like the way the Pistons played in game 2. Even in game 1, they played good. For a team that ain't been in the playoffs since before the play-in games 6 years ago, they look pretty damn good in Madison Square Garden. Now they stole the home court. They go back to Detroit, where those Pistons are going to go crazy. Here's a crazy stat about the Pistons and why I think they might win game 3. The Detroit Pistons have not won a home playoff game since 2008 when the Celtics won the championship with Paul Pierce, with the big 3. That's the last time the Detroit Pistons won a home playoff game. It's been almost 20 years. I was still in college the last time the Pistons won a playoff game in Detroit. So them fans finna go crazy in there. So that's going to be an exciting game. I can't wait to watch it. I had this series going 7, but if Karl-Anthony Towns don't show up, they might be out of here quicker than anybody else expecting them to do. So we'll see how that series goes. And then the 4-5 matchup, the Pacers and Bucks. If y'all watched the end of game 1, you saw Dame Lillard talking crazy. Tyrese Halliburton always talking for some reason. I don't know why, I guess. But anyway, they was talking crazy. Dame Lillard actually played in game 2, but it didn't matter. He's rusty at the end of the day. It's hard enough to be rusty and come into a regular season game. But to come into a high-intensity road playoff game after not playing for a month is hard to do. So he gutted it out. Hopefully he is healthy enough to play the rest of the series. But I think the Pacers got him. We predicted the Pacers winning this series anyway. They're up 2-0. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks get some at home, but I also wouldn't be surprised if the Pacers come back up 3-1. They're just a better basketball team, top to bottom. And when you got Siakam going off the way he's been going off, they're hard to beat. So give me the Pacers in that series. Series 8, they're up 2-0. They go to Milwaukee for game 3. In the Western Conference, this may be the only series that I predict a sweep, which is the Thunder and Grizzlies. Everybody probably predicted this, but I didn't think it was going to be this bad. I mean, damn, you lose game 1 by 50, right? And then you lose game 2 by 30, 25, like something like that. None of these games have been close. Shea didn't even play good in the first game, and now he done woke up, had 27 the other night, and they blow y'all out again. And again, it's just a talent thing. Like the Grizzlies just aren't as good as the Thunder. Simple as that. So it ain't an accident that, including the playoffs, the Thunder have beaten them 9 straight times, right? So I think this will be a sweep. The only chance the Grizzlies got is coming home, playing desperate in game 3. But I just think Oklahoma City is just a better basketball team. They got the check marks on coaching, defense, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the bigs, like everywhere you want to go, unless Jaren Jackson Jr. go crazy and have a 30-point game and Ja have a 30-point game with him, I don't see any solution for them. So they probably about to get the brooms out in Memphis. Rockets-Warriors. Rockets-Warriors play tonight after the show, so I will be tuning into that. But I got the Rockets winning that series, so I got to have them winning this game 2 at home to have a chance. If they go down 0-2 going to Golden State, they might not make it back home. So for me to keep my prediction going, I got to root for them, obviously. So my money's on the Rockets. They just got to score. They got everything else they need. They need Jalen Green to wake up, and they need to play with some confidence. I know it's their first playoff game. Şengün looked like the only guy that was ready to play basketball. And obviously, Steven Adams coming off the bench, dominating the boards. He is a veteran. He will be ready to play. He's played in Western Conference Finals. He's been in the league for a long time. Everybody else, though, for Houston, right? Ime Udoka can't play for you. Hell, he could coach you, but y'all got to come out and show some results. So give me the Rockets tonight. I still got them winning the series, but they got to win tonight or it's over. So I'm going to go with that. Last night, Lakers T-Wolves, right? Lakers responded. I picked the Lakers to win this series. I said LeBron will have a heavier load coaching and motivating than playing. I think Luka will have to carry some of the weight offensively along with AR, Austin Reeves. But they responded. They started out slow, and J.J. Redick was pissed off. Game started off on a 7-0 run. He was mad, and they woke up. I think the big thing for them is if they take care of the basketball. If the Lakers can take care of the ball, they win the game because the T-Wolves were hot in game one, and I didn't expect them to shoot the way they did in game one, and sure enough, they didn't. Mike Conley didn't do nothing in game two. So, Ant played okay, but they shot terrible as a team. I think they shot like 20% from three, 30% from the field, and they got killed on the boards, which is ridiculous. They got killed on the boards by a smaller, older, not older, I guess LeBron's the only one older, but they got killed on the boards by a smaller Lakers team. When you got Julius Randle, Naz Reid, Rudy Gobert, you should never lose the rebound battle against a smaller team. So if the Lakers can continue to win on the rebounds and not turn the ball over, they get this series. And LeBron and Luka ain't scared to go in somebody else's gym and win a home playoff and win a road playoff game either. So give me the Lakers winning this series. They tied it up like they needed to. The Rockets need to do the same, but Lakers will get out of that one. Then the last one, the 4-5 matchup, Nuggets-Clippers. All these games are going to be tight, which is interesting because I didn't think they would be. I figured Ty Lue having the coaching edge for sure with David Adelman, but they played some good basketball. Maybe it's because they were in Denver. We'll see if the tide turns in Denver, in LA. But as it looks now, it's 1-1. Clippers got their lick back. Should have won game one, went to OT, made some mistakes. Kawhi Leonard went crazy. When Kawhi Leonard's healthy, he's one of the best players in basketball. Simple as that. I don't think anybody would argue it, but he ain't never healthy, right? If you watch the game, all they talked about was, this is reminiscent of 2019. I'm like, it's 2025. Like, he ain't done nothing since then. That was 6 years ago. So to that point, if you can have Kawhi play and he's healthy, the Clippers have a chance in every series because he can dominate a series. He can be the best player in every series, but you got to trust that he's going to be healthy. So he proved it the other night, 39 points. Damn near didn't miss no shots. I think he missed like 3 shots. So he went crazy. James Harden been playing solid. Zubac been playing solid. They got a little help from Norman Powell. So if they get some help from these others, the Clippers can win this series. I picked the Clippers to win this series anyway. They went and stole one on the road. I think they'll be okay. But from those 2 games, what I saw was a turnover battle. So in game 1, the Clippers had 20 turnovers, lost in overtime. In game 2, Nuggets losing regulation, they had 20 turnovers. So it's pretty easy for me to figure it out. The team that wins the turnover battle will probably win these games, right? Because the games are going to be close. They're evenly matched. That's why they 4 or 5 seeds. Whoever wins that turnover battle wins the series. And I'm picking the Clippers to do that. Cool. So y'all let me know what y'all think, right? Who do you have winning these series? Because by the time we get back, we're going to be in the second round, maybe even a conference final. So y'all let me know what y'all think about who we have winning the round 1 series in the NBA playoffs. Cool. Again, the X-Factor Sportz Podcast, man, every Wednesday night, YouTube and Rumble, right? And everywhere you can listen to audio, you can catch the X-Factor Sportz Podcast. We are in season 7, episode 12, the finale, episode 84. I'm glad for y'all to tune in. If you just got here, you're missing some heat, but I got some more for y'all because we're about to talk about the NFL draft, okay? So this is a mock draft of just the top 10 picks based on if the picks stay where they are. There ain't any draft day trades. The teams stay where they're presently constructed. I'm going to give y'all who I think they should pick based on the needs, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. You'll see it at the bottom on the ticker, but I'm going to run through them all. So the number 1 overall pick in the draft, Tennessee Titans got it. They need a quarterback, clearly, because they don't trust Will Levis. They gave him too many opportunities. He likes winning the game. He likes winning the game for the other team. If you're a Bears fan, you saw in week 1, they had the game won, but Will Levis didn't like it, so he gave it to us. He did that a couple more times. And when you have an opportunity to pick a quarterback in the draft who's better than your current one for your future, you go with Cam Ward. So I think Cam Ward will be the number 1 pick. Like I said, they added offensive line help last year. They got protection for him, and they don't trust Will Levis. So makes sense. I think this is a unanimous thing. Everybody feels like Cam Ward will go number 1, and so do I. So give me Cam. The number 2 pick, the Cleveland Browns need everything because they're the Cleveland Browns, right? They need help on both sides of the ball. Myles Garrett kind of holds down the defense as much as he can. I think they're fine on that side. But when you are a team that have a lot of holes to plug in your offense, defense, wherever, right? You have to go with the best or the most talented player in the draft, and that's Travis Hunter. Heisman Trophy winner, generational talent, plays both sides of the ball. And if this didn't give it away, I don't know what will. But he talked about, if I don't get to play on both sides of the ball, I quit football. And the Cleveland Browns was like, hey, look over here. Like 2 hours later, they on social media like, oh, yeah, he can play whatever he want to play. Like, we good. We'll let him play both sides of the ball. He can deliver. He can hand out hot dogs if he want to. So that leads me to believe that they going to pick Travis Hunter at number 2, as they should. They're a poorly run organization. Let's just call it what it is. So when you're a poorly ran organization, go get the best player available. And Travis Hunter is the best player available. All right? Sell some tickets. People are going to want to come see this kid play. So go ahead and get him. So I think he goes to Cleveland. At number 3, the New York Giants, they need a defensive lineman. I know everybody's talking about it's an offensive coach. What are they going to do with the offense? All right, you got Jameis Winston, you got Russell Wilson, right? The coach and the GM are on their last legs. If they don't win now, they're gone. So there's a lot of talk about getting Shedeur, but Shedeur is going to be a project because he's a rookie. You can't depend on him to win now. He's not going to be your quarterback. It's bad for both parties. Here's why. You draft Shedeur. If the coach and the GM get fired, a new coach and GM comes in, and he's not the guy they drafted. So how long will it be till they do Shedeur dirty and he has to go somewhere else? Excuse me. Right? So I don't think they pick Shedeur Sanders for that reason. So you have to go with Abdul Carter, right? You need a defensive lineman. The New York Giants historically have won championships since the 80s off their defense. He's the most dominant defensive player. He's an East Coast guy. He just went to Penn State, right? You don't want to mess this up. Go get Abdul Carter, right? Trust that you have a veteran quarterback who can win you football games. In the end, if it doesn't work out, y'all gone anyway. So why invest the rest of your career in New York on a rookie who has to learn the game when you have veterans that already know the game? So if I'm in a situation and I'm a GM or a coach, I'm thinking win now. So who can dominate the game right now for me? Abdul Carter can come in day 1 and wreck games. Can Shedeur do that? And then there's going to be the talk, if he don't play, why do you have Russ? Why do you have Jameis Winston? Everybody's going to be clamoring for him. So now it's a media circus. You ain't thinking about winning games. So the safe bet is to get Abdul Carter. I think he goes 3rd to the Giants. All right. Number 4, New England Patriots. They need an offensive line. They need to protect Drake May. Mike Vrabel is a football guy. He understands it. He knows what it takes to build a team inside out. He did it in Tennessee. So I think they do the smart thing. They get Will Campbell, offensive lineman from LSU. He's the best available O-lineman. So go get this tackle and shore up that offensive line for your franchise quarterback. Just makes too much sense. We try to outthink the room when it comes to these drafts. That's why you got all these mock drafts. It's good for TV, all that. But here, when you get real talk, unbiased takes, just do what makes sense. You got your franchise quarterback, right? Vrabel has got some offensive weapons, some veterans to help him out. Now let's shore up the line. Simple as that. So let's get the best offensive tackle in the draft. That's Will Campbell, LSU. I think he goes 4. At number 5, Jacksonville, they need a defensive line as well. So Abdul Carter will not make it to number 5. So you go and get Mason Graham, defensive lineman from Michigan. He's probably the second best defensive lineman in the draft. Unanimous All-American for the interior line. And he's number 1 at his position. So only makes sense. Again, these franchises are picking so high because they're not good. So how do you become good? You draft good players. So why not draft the top players at their position to build around? And I feel like, yes, they got an offensive head coach too. But again, do you want to pick an offensive player that you think will impact the game? Or do you want to pick a player you know can impact the game right away? Don't get cute. Try to get one of these tight ends or get a wide receiver. You got a running back already. You're good there. Just go get the player you know can impact the game right now. At this position, number 5 is Mason Graham out of Michigan. Okay. Number 6, the Vegas Raiders. They need a running back, right? Alexander Madison's gone. You just brought in Geno Smith. He's one of the best play action quarterbacks in the league. Pete Carroll, new head coach. The success he had in Seattle was predicated on the run game when he had Marshawn Lynch, and he did play action passing. It only makes sense to get Ashton Jeanty at number 6. He's the best running back. He's your 3-down back, your bell cow, and it will help your quarterback see the field better. It sets him up for success on the offensive end. I know Pete Carroll's a defensive guy, but if you want success with your quarterback you just signed a big contract with, that his bread and butter is play action passing, why not get the best running back in the draft? So Ashton Jeanty goes 6. At number 7, the New York Jets. Now, the Jets need wide receivers. So this one's going to be kind of tricky. The Jets need wide receivers because they just lost Devontae Adams. And you got Garrett Wilson on the outside, and that's it. He's by himself pretty much. He needs help. I don't believe none of them other Green Bay guys that came over there. That's why they didn't play much. So Aaron Glenn, though, defensive head coach, he's trying to build something from the ground up. You do have Justin Fields as your new quarterback. So this one's kind of tough. But I feel like even though they need receivers, they do have offensive weapons, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. They do have some guys, right? But go ahead and get an offensive tackle to protect Justin Fields. So I think they get Armand Mimbu from the University of Missouri. He goes number 7. Makes sense. Again, the trenches is where it is. A defensive head coach understands that you got to build from the trenches, especially if you want to protect your new quarterback you just brought in too. So I think Armand Mimbu goes number 7. At number 8, Carolina Panthers. They need an edge rusher. And I'm pissed off too because it seemed like we always got something going on with Carolina. As a Bears fan, I want this kid. I want Jelon Walker. All right. The Bears are historically great at drafting defensive players. I want this kid. He looks like a monster coming out of Georgia. He can play linebacker and he can rush the edge. So he's going to give you a lot of Micah Parsons type stuff. I would love to have a game record like that in Chicago, a defensive team. Carolina Panthers need it, though, so they'd be stupid not to get him. They need an edge rusher bad. So he's the second best edge rusher outside of Abdul Carter, and he'll be available. So they'll get Jalen Walker. But I'm saying it and I'm sounding sad. The kid is – I think the kid's going to be great, right? If he's put up and set up in the right system, he will be. But the Michael Parsons comparison, it will not be that far off. I promise y'all that. This kid is strong as hell. He is mean. And like I said, if you can play linebacker and play on the edge, that means you know how to cover, right? So they're going to teach him schemes on how to defend the run, but he's an athlete, right? Anytime you can play at the line and in the second level of a defense, you're athletic. So be exciting to see this kid play. Feel like the Panthers get him at 8. At number 9, the Saints need a quarterback, all right? They finding out Derek Carr won't be available right away. They don't have Jameis Winston no more. They got rid of everybody's quarterback. Kellen Moore, a brand new coach. So that's why this will line up to get Shedeur, right? It wouldn't make sense with the Giants because they're almost 1 foot out the door. So you don't want to get a kid and depend on this kid for your job when you already got 2 veteran quarterbacks. Just get the best player and try to win with him right now. Kellen Moore is at a different trajectory in his contract. He is a brand new coach. Now him and Shedeur Sanders' careers are aligned, right? So I think he gets Shedeur Sanders. Kellen Moore is a former great college quarterback. You see what he did for Jalen Hurts. You see what he did for Dak Prescott. Like he knows the quarterback position. I think this would be a perfect marriage. You got Derek Carr who's out. Shedeur Sanders comes in. He's in a weak division, right? So he can come in and get some wins, get some confidence. He's playing in the dome. He's in the South. Like he doesn't have to worry about the elements as much. It just makes too much sense for the Saints to not get Shedeur Sanders at number 9. And then he's got weapons too. I forgot to even add. I mean, you got Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave, you got Alvin Kamara. Like they got offensive weapons and nobody to get them the ball. Shedeur Sanders, the most accurate quarterback in college football last year. Only makes sense to me. So I think he goes there. They added Brandon Cooks this year too, a veteran. So he's got veterans around him to help him. Derek Carr has always been a good mentor as well. Bring this guy in the program. I got Shedeur going at 9. And then at number 10, so our last pick of our mock draft, the top 10 picks, is the Chicago Bears defensive lineman. That's why I said if Jelon Carter falls or if the Bears can move up, again, I don't know who's moving up. This is a top 10 based on where they're picking right now before tomorrow. But we need a defensive lineman. I'm going Shamar Stewart, defensive lineman out of A&M. He's the next best D lineman after those other 2. So if the Bears want to trade down with the Steelers, maybe the Steelers want to move up and try to get Shedeur and we can get some more picks out of them. But as it stands right now, the Bears at 10, I think we get Shamar Stewart. He's a good D lineman out of Texas A&M. And again, we are historically good at picking defensive players. We buy the offense, as you've seen Ben Johnson, what they've been doing this offseason, picking up offensive linemen. They're going to predicate the offense around Caleb Williams. And then let's go ahead and get a defensive lineman to pressure the ball, get us the ball back. So that's my top 10 right there. Y'all let me know what y'all think. As I said, this whole segment, you've been able to see the ticker at the bottom. Let me know if you like it. Do you think that if these picks stay where they are, these will be the people that get picked up or not, right? So remember, the X-Factor Sports Podcast is on YouTube and Rumble. You can always subscribe, like, share, and follow the X-Factor Sports Podcast on all social media platforms as well, all right? Before we get out of here, before we get out of the season finale of the X-Factor Sports Podcast, Season 7, Episode 12, we hit y'all with the last 2-minute warning of the season, okay? And so here we're talking about starting things, right? But learning how to finish things before you get them started. What do you mean by that? So when you are planning to do something, right, you want to make sure you understand how you want that to be finished. Learn how to finish before you start. So you kind of know where you're going, right? If you have goals, if somebody is trying to, let's say a kid is wants to graduate college, right? You pick your major, whatever it is, maybe take a couple years, but what are you looking at when that's over? Do you have an idea of where you want to work? Do you have an idea of what this degree is going to do for you, right? So that's more on a macro level. So we go on micro. Puzzles. Has any of y'all ever done the mazes, right? Me and Miss D was talking about this the other day when I was coming up with this 2-minute warning. You know how you get those mazes on like the cereal box back in the day, or you had the kids menu? You always look at the end of the maze first to see where it ends, and then you work backwards. So it's similar to that in life. Obviously, you can't work backwards, but if you have goals, you can start with what you want the end result to be. That is learning what the finish will be. before you get started, right? I had a goal to build this podcast. The end goal is obviously to get people to subscribe and enjoy the show. Okay, how do I get to that goal? And where do I start here and start building those blocks? So it's just one of those things in all aspects of life. We're at the end of this season, right? I knew how I wanted this season to end. I knew what goals and what results I wanted. We did hit some of those goals, by the way. We hit our 5,000 mark for subscribers, but just learning about the finish, how to finish, whether you play basketball, football, coaches always talk about finishing the right way, learning how to finish games before you get started. So think about that in terms of goals, in terms of anything in life that you want to start. Learn how to finish, or learn how to get to a position where you can finish when you hit those goals. All right. Again, appreciate y'all for tuning in to the season finale of the X-Factor Sportz Podcast. If you like the gear, we got t-shirts coming out for next season, screen printed, great quality, all color sizes. Remember, you can scan a QR code or hit me up and tell me your sizes, because when you see me next time, it will be with the screen printed brand new shirts, t-shirts, because we in the summertime, X-Factor Sportz Podcast. So be sure to get yours, all right? So special thank you to everybody that tuned in, supported the X-Factor Sportz Podcast. We got to 5,000 subscribers this season. We want to get to 10. So go ahead and let us know if you enjoy the show and start liking and sharing the X-Factor Sportz Podcast with people. But I want to give special thanks to fans, of course, everybody on TikTok that likes the podcast, Amanda, Katie, Kat and Greg all the time. Anytime it's on TikTok, they tune in. AJ and Shayla tune in every week. Appreciate y'all. All my boys back in Chicago that tune in. They text me, tell me good show. Appreciate y'all. D Will is a top fan on YouTube, always comment, interacting. My boy Kev, like everybody, D Wildy, all the people that tune in and watch the show. And to Snooch Customs for creating the X-Factor Sportz Podcast shirts and hoodies this season. We will be coming back to you for some t-shirts. And Miss D, of course, right? The great Miss D, who always supports, who always takes care of me when I need it. Love you, girl. Thank you for helping out with the show. We couldn't do this thing without you. This is Jay Mondane of the X-Factor Sportz Podcast, Season 7 finale, the 84th episode. We are out of here. We will see y'all next time. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow to the X-Factor Sportz Podcast. Jay Mondane signing out. Peace.